Gigantic game at Lambeau Field. So here's what you do. Sunday afternoon, turn on Fox Sports Radio. You'll hear Dan Beyer and George Reister, and they'll tell you everything that's gone on in the NFL. They'll give you all the playoff scenarios, everything. And I think, Dan, you're done before the Sunday night game, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, so he'll get the chance to go home, cook, and wish bad things upon the Green Bay Packers because even though he's from Wisconsin, he doesn't like the Packers. And maybe they don't need the Noonan from Beyer because Aaron Rodgers is putting them in this weird position again and again. Here's Aaron Rodgers about talking about this weekend's game.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, just because you don't know what the future holds. But when I think about that, it's nothing but gratitude. Not remorse or sadness, just gratitude for the time that I've been here, the amazing memories that I've had on this field. Been a lot of great moments. But, I'm still undecided. We're all undecided about the future, and we're just going to enjoy Sunday night and hopefully have some more to play for.
So he's doing that thing where he's like, I'm undecided. I don't know what I'm going to do. And if you're the Packers, you sit there and go, here we go again. Another Favre. Because Favre did this for like 3 years, and then finally, and I will also be honest with you, he's answering a question. Well, he was asked about the possibility of it being his last game at Lambeau Field. So he didn't volunteer, hey, this could be my last game. But he did volunteer that I'm still undecided. We're all still undecided, right? Then he kind of caught himself there. I don't know why Aaron does this. There's so many things, and maybe it's this search for complete and utter honesty, and that brings him peace. But man, it's just so weird that we have to go through this again. Why? What is the win in him saying this could be his last game ever? I'm under contract. I'm going to be back next year. But we're not even thinking about next year. We want to think about this game and what we can do with this team. Of all the things that wear you out about Aaron Rodgers, is this number one? Dan Beyer, is this one of the reasons? Because I know you are a fan of his talent, but not a fan of that.
Well, yeah, I mean the whole retirement thing, and realistically, as a Seahawks fan, that is also why I need the Packers to lose, because if the Seahawks would win and the Packers lose, the Seahawks get into the playoffs. So that's another reason why I'd be cheering against. But yeah, it's this maybe I will, maybe I won't, and all the while, people hated that or he didn't like that from Brett Favre. That was a reason why their relationship was maybe a little frosty at times, and now it's a bit of a not role reversal, but the shoe is on his foot. So yeah, so that is part of it. There's one thing, Doug, about being candid and telling about your craft and being open, and then there's another thing about wanting to be the smartest guy in the room. And I think that at times when Rodgers is being candid, he comes off as trying to be the smartest guy in the room. That's another sort of thing that bothers me.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the biggest thing is he does try and, every answer, it's like I'm trying to cloak an answer cleverly and outthink you with that answer. It's just like, or you could just answer the question,
Yeah. We love insight, but it's also, there's this, I don't know if it's the tone, I don't know it's how it's presented, but as you said, yeah, it's this almost, it's not even like a dance around. It's just this, we love to hear insights. So we love to learn things. I think all of us do. And when players, when we have players that are mic'd up and do stuff, I think that's all stuff that we crave. But you don't want to be talked down to, and I think at times it sometimes sounds like he's doing that.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting one, right? It's a super interesting thought that there's a certain amount of condescension, and he's really, it's one of those things. I've learned this the hard way, is that when people give you what you feel like is compliment of being super smart, it's not always a compliment. Man, you're the smartest basketball guy we got. That's not really a compliment, because what you're saying is you think you know more than everybody. You're trying to show you know more than anybody, and that doesn't necessarily make you affable and willing to work with people. I think that's what people say about Aaron Rodgers. Really, really bright guy. He's really, really smart. And what they're saying is, he's smart, and he tries to show off. Right, Byers? Is
Sure.
that fair?
Yeah. I think that's apropos. Definitely in instances.
Yeah. Jay Stu, you think there's any way he retires? $56 million sitting there?
I mean, the normal person, no. But I think it would be one of the more badass things to do is walk away from that money on the table. That would be, he would get cred with me if he did it. Because that means all the stuff that we've kind of dismissed as BS with him, and doing all this introspection, and there's much more to life than playing this game, then that would validate everything that he's been saying all along. So I think it would be a badass thing. I don't think he does it. And by the way, I heard some yard barker say that, why would Aaron Rodgers leave after? I mean, he could win a playoff game or two. Why would he leave then? This team is just coming together. And I'm thinking, isn't this the same sentiment from people saying that there's no way Tom Brady could step away with this crappy team? He doesn't want to go out this way. Like, which one is it? What is there an appropriate time to retire after the season that you just had?
Yeah, I mean, Tom Brady should retire when they won a Super Bowl. Or when you feel like for Brady, yeah, it just this year's been messy. Been messy where his personal life has come into his football life. I kind of get that. And, I think the Brady thing is because some of the messaging, whether it's accurate or inaccurate, was football led to the divorce. Right? So if you're not married anymore and you love playing football, then why wouldn't you keep playing football? Right? I think that's the issue there. With the Aaron Rodgers thing is that forever people have said Aaron Rodgers doesn't have the weaponry, and now you're like, wait, they kind of put together good players that are young. They'll all be back next year. Why would you? I think it's different. I do understand there's mixed messaging there. I do. So I think, I don't know. I just don't see anybody. Like, what was the point of holding out for a new contract if you're going to walk away from the new contract? That's where there's a correlation between the two. What was the point of getting divorced for football if you don't want to play football anymore? What was the whole point of holding out for this gigantic new contract if halfway through all the payments of the contract, which is basically a 2-year upfront deal, you walk away? That doesn't make any sense to me.
And I think your whole point too, as well, about the young, as you guys are talking about the young wide receivers. Just think of how different he has treated them from the first half of the year.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Watson had the drop against Minnesota in week one.
Wouldn't look at him the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Didn't even look at him.
Romeo Doubs is apparently not, doing the work that he needed to do, and then he got injured. Now, Rodgers is saying, joking, hey, if he wants to catch touchdown passes, he's got to catch the sign. About Watson in that Rams game and stuff like that. Like, that's been a 180 from where they are. And now, give those guys actually a little break, meaning Watson and Dobbs, of getting acclimated to the NFL and playing with a Hall of Fame quarterback. It's actually probably come along quicker than anybody could have imagined no question for how they've played in the second half of the year. Specifically Watson. Dobbs was hurt for a while, but and
Dobbs has shown some signs of coming along here late. So I don't think it hurts anything. And I do think that there's a level of honesty with Rodgers, like where he just I want to, even though I feel really confident he's coming back because it doesn't make sense to me for leave that money there when you fought for that money. But there is a level of honesty, like, hey, look, I'm not going to decide on next year till next year. But it's why would you say that? What is the win in saying that before this gigantic game where you guys made yourself relevant, possibly get to the playoffs? If you get to the playoffs, you'll probably see your nemesis in the Niners and give yourself another chance to kind of, chase those demons away. It's going to be a fascinating weekend, culminating Sunday night in Green Bay.